In my last video, we looked at a business doing about $30,000 a month, and somehow there wasn't much left over. And usually people see that, their first reaction is panic, and then immediately, I just have to work harder. I've had that thought before too. And as I've started working in bookkeeping and just talking to people about money over the years, I've noticed something that shows up over and over again. And it's not just about the numbers. And what I found is usually not what most people expect. People don't avoid their numbers because they're lazy. They avoid them because something about them feels heavy. And that heaviness is usually where the profit is hiding. Let me show you what I mean. So today, I want to show you something I've been noticing. You're not bad with money. You're just repeating a pattern. And if you feel stuck in your business financially, it's usually not because you don't care. And it's not because you're not doing everything right. It usually comes down to 3 different patterns. We have the avoidance pattern. This one's probably the most common. And it starts in the place people don't notice. You don't look at your numbers consistently, not because you don't want to, but because every time you do, it feels heavy. So instead, you tell yourself, I'll check it later. I already know it's not that great. Or, I just have to get through this week first. Does that sound familiar? And what happens is, you stay busy, but you're making decisions without real information behind it. And this is where the leak actually starts. So pricing doesn't get adjusted, expenses don't get questioned, and the same patterns just keep repeating in the background. Avoidance doesn't mean you don't care. It usually just means you don't feel in control yet. And when you don't feel in control, you don't want to look. The second pattern is the underpricing pattern. This one seems harmless until you zoom out. And I'll be honest, I've done this one too. It doesn't usually start with numbers. Sometimes it's because you feel like an imposter, like who am I to charge that? Or you know your value, but you don't believe your customer base can afford you. And so instead of charging what your business needs, you charge what you think they can afford. So you lower your price or you don't raise it, even when you know you probably should. And on paper, everything looks fine. But here's where it shows up. When you actually look at the numbers, there's just not enough left over. And that's when people think, I need to work more. But the actual problem is, it's not the amount of work you're doing, it's how much you're charging for the value of your work. And then there's the busy pattern. This one feels productive, but has a bigger issue. And this one I've definitely used myself as a busy mom. If I'm busy, I must be doing something right. But this is the part that no one talks about. Your things are moving, money's coming in, jobs are getting done, so obviously I know what I'm doing. But what I've learned is being busy can feel like you're in control until it doesn't, because this is where things break down. Eventually you're going to get burnt out. You're going to start losing your clarity. What is profitable, what's not, and where your money is actually going. So instead of slowing down, you just keep on going because busier is better. And that decision has a cost. Because staying busy feels easier than asking the hard questions. Busy can make money, but it just doesn't guarantee you can keep it. So how do you actually start seeing this in your own business? Because the truth is, this isn't something you fix just once. This is something that you'll get better at noticing. I've underpriced before, I've chosen busy over clarity, and I'll catch myself doing it again. But now I can see it faster. And that's really the goal, not perfection, but this awareness. Because once you start seeing the patterns, you can start changing them. When I look at a business that isn't keeping its money, I don't think something went wrong. I think something else entirely. I think there's a pattern here. And I've had to start looking at my own business decisions this way as well. Because your numbers aren't random. They're a reflection of your decisions. And your decisions come from your habits. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. So instead of asking, why is there no money left? I've learned to slow it down and look at it like a detective. And a detective doesn't judge the scene, they look for clues. So I always start with these 3 things. Clue number 1, where is the money going first? This is usually where the leak starts, not your big expenses. The first places it leaves your account. So your materials, your subscriptions, your labor, or quick decisions that didn't get questioned. And I ask, did I actually choose this? Or did it happen automatically? Clue number 2, where am I saying yes too fast? This one changes how you price forever. Every yes has a cost. So I look at jobs I accepted too quickly, discounts I gave without thinking, or work I took just to keep things moving. And I ask, did this yes match what my business actually needs right now? Or did I do it to get that job, to keep busy? Clue number 3, where am I guessing? This is the one most people miss completely. This is usually the biggest one. I think I'm charging enough. I feel like this job made money. It should be fine. But feelings aren't your financial data. So I ask, where am I making decisions without actually looking? And when people start seeing this, things start to shift quickly. Not because the numbers change first, but because the questions do. Before you can change your numbers, you have to start noticing what's driving them. And I still practice this too. Now let's make this actually usable for you. But I'll keep it simple. I use a pause. It takes about 10 seconds. The next time you do something in your business, send an invoice, take a job, buy something, or avoid your numbers, just pause for 10 seconds. And ask, what just happened? Why did I choose that? And what would this look like if I was fully clear? This is where most people start noticing everything differently. You're not trying to get perfect answers. You're just building awareness. And this is where things start to shift. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I know I do this, but I don't always catch it in the moment, I actually made something to help with that. It's a simple worksheet I call the Business Detective Sheet. It walks you through these same questions so you can start noticing your patterns as they're happening, not just after the fact, because that's usually the difference between staying stuck in it and actually starting to change it. I'll link it below if you want to use it. If you want to go one step deeper, about once a week, take 10 minutes to look back. Where did I feel rushed? Where did I avoid something? What did I say yes too quickly? Because over time, you start to see a pattern of you, and that's where things begin to change. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I'm here to help you understand what your numbers are already telling you so you can make better. Because once you see clearly, you're not guessing anymore. You're deciding. And I'm still learning this too. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about catching the patterns sooner and making small shifts as you go. And that's what we're going to build in this next video. I'm going to show you a simple way to actually track this, not just your money, but what's happening behind it. Because once you start seeing this, that's where things begin to change. All right, I'll see you in the next one.